Hey guys, so you've probably heard that consistency is key a million times before when it comes to nailing things on social media, right? But how do you actually stick to it? That's the real problem. As a content creator, you need real down-to-earth tips that actually work, not just some buzzwords, right? So let's ditch the fluff and let's get into some practical hacks that helped me stay consistent without losing my mind. So in this video, I'm not gonna bore you with tips like batch create content or create a content calendar because I'm sure you've already heard those a million times before. Instead, I'm going to share some fresh practical strategies and one mindset shift that will actually make staying consistent 100% easier. And trust me, I've been through it all. Since I started my Instagram account, I've been on both sides of the consistency game. There's been times where I posted every single day for 3 years straight, and other times when life just got in the way and I couldn't keep up. We're all human, it happens, right? But along the way, I picked up some game-changing little hacks that have worked for me and can help you keep showing up on social media without feeling overwhelmed. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing my top 5 hacks I use to stay consistent on social media. But before we dive into the hacks, let's talk about one of the biggest mindset shifts that helped me stay consistent. And that's understanding that every single post builds momentum. So think of it like a snowball effect. Each time you show up, even with the smallest post, you're building trust with your audience and you're reinforcing your brand and keeping the algorithm working in your favor. So consistency isn't just about individual posts. It's all about the cumulative effect they have over time. So every piece of content, no matter how small, contributes to the bigger picture of your growth. So even on the days when it feels like your post isn't going to make a difference, remember that it's part of a larger picture that's going to move you forward. That's why sticking with it matters, because momentum is the key to long-term success. Also, when you show up regularly, people know they can count on you, which helps you grow your presence and engagement. Plus, the social media algorithms just love consistency. So the more consistent you are, the more you'll get pushed out to new people, so it's a win-win. Alright, so now let's talk about one of my absolute favorite hacks that keeps me consistent on social media. I like to call it the 3 levels of content. So think of it like a video game. You've got easy, medium, and hard levels. And you can choose your approach depending on how much time or energy you have that day. So on those insanely busy days when you're juggling a million things and social media feels like the last thing on your mind, go for the easy level. This level, it's all about quick wins. So maybe sharing a simple quote that inspires your audience, or repurposing a post that did well before, or even giving a shout out to your followers by sharing some user-generated content. These small but effective posts keep your feed active without draining your energy. Then there's the medium level. This is for the days when you have some time to be a bit more creative. This is when you can step things up a notch. Like, for example, post a carousel with valuable tips, share a behind-the-scenes glimpse into your process, or jump on a trending topic and give your take on it. So this level takes a bit more thought and effort, but it's still manageable without taking up too much of your day. And finally, when you've got the time and the energy to go all out, that's when you hit the hard level. I'm talking full-blown tutorials, polished reels with edits and transitions, or even in-depth content that delivers serious value to your audience. This is the kind of content that makes an impact, but it obviously takes way more effort and planning. The beauty of this approach is that you're adjusting your content based on what your day looks like, so you're not burning out trying to do it all. But the key here is that no matter how hectic things get, you're still showing up in some way, whether it's easy, medium, or hard. Alright, so now let's jump to my next tip, which is called minimum maximum posting frequency. I got this awesome tip from Jade Beeson here on YouTube, and it's been a game changer for staying consistent on social media. It's all about setting 2 goals: your ideal number of posts and your minimum number of posts for the week. So, for example, my ideal number of posts on Instagram is 7 times a week, but my minimum is 3 posts per week. So this way I have a clear target to aim for without stressing if I can hit it perfectly every time. If I can only manage to post my minimum for the week, that's still a win because I'm keeping up with my consistency and I'm not just disappearing from my audience's feed. This system helps you stay in control of your content game, where you're not constantly chasing perfection, but you're still showing up and staying relevant. Alright, so this next tip is probably the most important one and perfect for those days when life gets in the way and you have absolutely no time. I call it the emergency post. So maybe something unexpected comes up, or you're just not feeling well that day, or you're just completely drained. For moments like this, always keep at least one post in your drafts. Think of it like your emergency stash, your break glass in case of emergency post. It's there to save the day when you just can't create content, whether your schedule's gone haywire, or your day is a total disaster, or you're just not feeling it. And that's okay, no need to stress about it because you're already prepared for this. So whether it's a simple quote, a quick tip for your audience, or even a throwback to one of your favorite past posts, it should be sitting there ready to go. All you have to do is hit that post button and boom, you're still showing up for your audience, keeping your consistency intact without breaking a sweat. So one of the biggest consistency killers is trying to create posts on the same day you plan to publish them. We've all been there, right? Scrambling to come up with an idea and throw something together just to get it out in time. It's way too stressful. That's why I recommend always thinking at least 1 week ahead as far as post ideas go. Now, don't worry, you don't need to create content for the whole week or create a super detailed content calendar, unless that works for you, of course. But having a rough idea of what you want to post over the next few days will make your life so much easier. So it takes the pressure off and gives you more room to breathe, allowing you to focus on creating quality content without that last-minute panic. The key is to stay flexible while still being prepared. Think of it like prepping ingredients for dinner. You don't have to make the whole meal in advance, right? But just having a few things ready to go makes it so much easier to whip up something when you need to. So by planning just a week ahead, you're setting yourself up for success and protecting your consistency without adding unnecessary stress. But sometimes coming up with the content ideas is the hardest part of content creation, right? Especially when you're trying to think of ideas for a week ahead. So that's when my next tip comes in, which is the swipe file. So the swipe file is basically a folder on Instagram where I stash ideas from posts that have inspired me in some way. So whether it's a cool design, layout, a clever caption, or just an overall vibe that caught my attention, I save it. Instagram's bookmark feature is perfect for this, but you can also use tools like Pinterest or just save a simple folder on your phone for those moments when something sparks your creativity. The idea isn't to copy the content directly, but just to gather inspirations. So when you hit a creative block and you're just staring at a blank screen with zero ideas, all you have to do is dip into your swipe file, scroll through, and you'll find something that speaks to you. Then just create your own version. Another tip for staying consistent is keeping a running list of content ideas in your Notes app on your phone. So you know that inspiration can strike at the most random times, whether you're out for a walk, grabbing a coffee, or even in the middle of the night. Instead of letting those ideas slip away, write them down in your Notes app. So that way, when you're ready to create content, you've got a list of ideas waiting for you, instead of starting from scratch every time. It's such a simple habit, but it makes a huge difference in keeping the creativity flowing and staying ahead with your content. Alright, so that's a wrap on how to keep your social media game consistent and fresh. Remember, it's all about finding what works for you and sticking with it. If you found these tips helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay creative and consistent, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!